Hey, Mellody. Two other related items of sorts. I want to congratulate you on a remarkable run at Starbucks, which is an extraordinary thing. You're on the board of J.P. Morgan. I'm curious what you make. This is sort of a broader policy, philosophical question of what's going on in the country right now, which is, I think, arguably you are one of, if not the most powerful black women in all of finance. And there is a remarkable pushback or backlash against DEI, something you and I have talked about on this broadcast for years now, from both the Trump administration itself. You're seeing a rollback in corporate America. I asked Jamie Dimon about it last week in Davos. What do you make about what's going on here?
Well, I will tell you that I think we have two things going on. I think there's talk, and I think the action is disconnected from the talk. I'm very disappointed by what we are hearing broadly in terms of our government, in terms of the pushback on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I've said this for many years. You know, you and I have had lots of conversations about this. Talent and genius do not discriminate. They show up in equal proportions by gender, by race, by socioeconomic condition. As long as your brain was given food and develops, you will see a bell curve of talent and genius around the world in every corner of society. And yet, in many parts of our society, we see a homogeneous group of people represented, which suggests there are some barriers to entry. Math has no opinion. I say that all the time. The math is telling us something. The math does not line up to the bell curve. I do believe companies understand if they want to reach consumers of all walks of life, of all races, sexual orientations, etc., that they need people inside of their company that can speak to those preferences and those orientations. And I think companies understand that and will not walk away from good business. And so there's talk, and then I think that talk may be disconnected from the actions, and the actions that I do not believe that smart executives will take, because I think they want to grow their businesses, and I think they want the best people around the table. And those best people, as I'm suggesting, that talent and genius is equally represented.
Okay, tell me if I'm saying this right, and maybe you're going to say I'm mistranslating this. Are you effectively saying that a lot of these companies that have publicly rolled back these programs aren't actually rolling back these programs?
I'm not in those rooms, so I can't say what they are doing. I can tell you what I think when we talk to our portfolio companies at Ariel, what they tell us. And I will tell you the rooms that I am in, there is a commitment to making sure that we have representation throughout the company so that we can be our very, very best. And Jamie, I know he said that to you in Davos.
You know, one of the things that I know that you worked on, even with the J.P. Morgan, and it's an interesting issue, is, you know, banks who said, let's try to expand the pie in certain markets by actually making a concerted effort to invest in those diverse markets. What's so interesting is you now have pushback from, in some cases, activist investors and others saying, you know, there's not either a business case for that and or it's motivated by the wrong ideas.
This is just not correct. I mean, I don't know. It's so uninformed in terms of the point of view, because ultimately, economically strong America is good for everyone. And you want that economic strength to be at all levels of our society. These are not handouts. It's business. And I think it's very important to understand that. This is not jpmorgan.org or ariel.org. We are corporations, and we understand our fiduciary responsibility to serve our shareholders and all of our stakeholders. And so I think it's very important not to somehow get caught up in some semantics that are really disconnected from the business case that is quite clear.
Right.
Everyone wants more customers.